friends and neighbors. I'm a Brit in Progress. Welcome to the UK. Hello, friends and neighbors. Brit in Progress here. It's a lovely day. I'm lying. It's day 977 of quarantine, and it is hot. It's really hot. Ugh. For those of you that don't know, I moved here from South Florida, so I'm no stranger to warm temperatures, but I'm very upset because when I moved over here, everyone said to me, "Oh, we have such mild summers. Everything's gonna be nice. You're gonna love the weather, Craig." And I come over here, and it was last year was this way, and it seems like it's gonna be this way this year. It's just heat wave after heat wave after heat wave. Where are all those mild summers, guys? I feel lied to. I thought, oh, by the way, just to have an idea of how hot it is right now. Right now, it's like 32 Celsius, so 93, 94 degrees, which is too much. I don't like it. I thought that we would talk about climate change. Oh no. No, he didn't. Yeah, we're going to talk about climate change and how the UK feels about it versus how the US feels about it. I will say I didn't do any research about the actual numbers for how the US feels about things. I'm just going to approximate based on my experience and the people that I surround myself with and the arguments that I've heard over the year. Actually, I'm probably not going to talk about America that much at all, if I'm being honest. It's just kind of how the UK feels, and you can draw your own conclusions. So, let's start with the heat waves. So, as of right now, today isn't going to break the hottest day on record in the UK. The highest temperature recorded in the UK was set sometime in the 1970s, and I believe was 35.6 degrees Celsius, which I think is just over 100 degrees. I'm not entirely sure. But that was set in the 70s. But the frequency at which the UK has approached those temperatures has increased since then. So, stuff's changing. It's a fact. It's not... Climate change is not an opinion. It's a fact. I just wish everyone treated it with the same... not reverence, but I wish everyone treated it as the fact that it is. The climate is changing, and it is man-made, and we need to deal with it and fix it. The UK, let's talk about public opinion regarding climate change in the UK. So I've read a bunch of studies and a bunch of polling data over the last 10 years, and the conclusion that I have come to is that there are more people, we're talking per capita here, not total proportion, but there is a larger percentage of people in the UK that do realize that the climate is changing. The average of the numbers that I looked up flutters between about 70 and 80% of people in the UK believe that the climate is shifting and understand that it is actually occurring. They may not understand the specific science of it, why it's happening and such, but they understand that it's happening because it doesn't snow here anymore, or very rarely, and it used to snow all the time, apparently. Temperatures are getting warmer. Winters, I don't think the winters are getting more intense here. And I think that might be a function of latitude. I'm not sure though. But I know summers are definitely getting more intense here. So between 70 and 80% of people believe that climate change is real in the UK. However, based on the polls that I read, about 25% of people, or that's the wrong way to phrase that. So while about 70 to 80% of people do believe it's real, only about 25% of people think that it's an imminent crisis. It doesn't rate very high on their list of priorities when it comes to political problems. It's not a factor that they look at when they're choosing political candidates or parties. Which is interesting, and it tells me that the education might be a bit better over here about what it is and how it happens, but like in a lot of places in the world, I think that how desperate the situation is suppressed just as much as in the US, for example. So that's kind of public opinion on climate change. So what is the UK doing about it? By the way, today's video is going to be short because I have to turn my little fan off to make this video, otherwise the noise will just crowd the mic, so we're going to be getting on with this today. So, the UK isn't a driving-centric culture. So, the greenhouse pollution from cars isn't as big of a deal as it is in a lot of other places in the world. Most of the UK's contribution to greenhouse emissions and such come from power generation, from what I could find. And it seems like the UK is trying to reduce the dependency on greenhouse emitting fuel or greenhouse emitting power sources. So it seems like, based on the information that I have right now, is the largest drive to curb that is being made with wind, which is great. I remember the first time I came here and went to Southport Beach with my in-laws, and I could see wind turbines out beyond Southport, kind of down towards the Liverpool area. So they have a pretty large offshore wind farming operation. There's also windmills at the top of like every hill that, like, I think I can see 4 of them from my balcony. So, wind is a very large power generator here. I've just looked it up. It's about 25% of the power in the UK comes from renewable wind alone, which is great. So I could go into talking more about the different types of energy and the different ways that the UK is pursuing in reducing carbon emissions and that sort of thing, but honestly, it's too hot. I'm gonna die. So I think what I'm gonna end this on is just that I'm really happy to see that so many people in the UK at least realize that it's happening, which means that as things become worse, unfortunately, that more people will see that something needs to be done about it, which will be great for me. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, really helps me out. Share this video with your friends maybe, and have a good day. See you when I see you.